Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here. Yesterday, I made a video after the word was announced. WWE basically put it out there on Front Street. They were trying to have a huge edition of Monday Night Raw. They announced that Shane McMahon was going to be making his return to WWE Monday Night Raw. I went out and basically said, I think that what they're going to do is they're going to build a match that we've all been kind of waiting for a long time, and that was Triple H versus Shane McMahon. Kind of just putting it out there all on the table. Winner takes all. We are the McMahons, but only one person can run this company in the foreseeable future. We're going to have to see who it's going to be for once and for all. Is Shane or is Stephanie / Triple H, the McMahon Helmsley era, going to run WWE into the foreseeable future? Kind of pushing Vince McMahon out of the picture. That is not what we got. Instead, what we got was Shane McMahon hosting Raw. What was it? What did it even call it? It was like Raw Backstage or Raw Underground. Something like that, where basically we got 3 backstage, basically Fight Club brawls that were just horrible. If you go back to the early days of the Attitude Era, WWE came up with an idea to sort of, get their name out there, become fresh in the eyes of the people that were watching WCW, as well as a lot of the wrestling fans that had kind of lost hope and were starting to watch UFC. They were going to put their wrestlers in the ring to compete in a boxing / fighting style called Brawl for All. If they're going to do Raw Backstage and have backstage Fight Club, unscripted, very scripted fights, they might as well do Fight Club. Because what they did was just bad. It was not what anybody wanted to see. I will say that honestly, if this was a one-time deal to sort of get the new stable of Shelton Benjamin, Bobby Lashley, and MVP over, like if this was their way to sort of show them that, they go out, they have matches on Raw, and they love beating people up so much that they stage these underground fights after it's over to sort of beat up the extras, basically just push guys around that think they want to be wrestlers. I think that would have been cool. If you go back to like 2013, 2014, after the, I believe it was after the Bad News Barrett, and they brought Wade Barrett back one more time before they made him King Barrett. They kind of had Wade Barrett do vignettes where he was like an underground fighter. He was taping up his fists. He was knocking guys out. They showed the vignette like 1 or 2 weeks, and then he debuted the new gimmick, and he kind of was the same guy that he'd always been. But it was a really, really cool kind of story they told in that vignette the first time. I think that if that's what they were doing, that's fine. But if they think people are going to be tuning in when Shane McMahon says that he's going to be having, the underage or the unscripted fights, if they're basically going to have these backstage, I don't even call them hardcore matches. I just don't really see what the end game is here, other than like building up a monster to go after a guy like McIntyre for the championship, and then basically have McIntyre beat him. I don't really know what else we're going to get to here. I thought that it was a very bad segment. Hopefully WWE will sweep it under the rug. I'm hoping that they don't tie it into that sort of backstage stable that they started last night, the new faction. Because if they're just like, well, Shane needed to get on TV, and this was kind of a distraction so these guys could run around backstage and do it, that's just as bad. But basically, if you're going to build up hype, thinking that it was going to be a big Raw, and that's your payoff, bad idea. SummerSlam, not looking good, guys.